Hello and welcome back to Rolex Play, where we roll dice and we play games. You've joined us for our weekend campaign. Here again. Hello, welcome back. If you're new, joining us, hello, welcome. You've joined us for session 17. We are probably through this campaign already. We've gone over the hump at the beginning of introductions and so on and so forth. The party know each other at this point. And yeah, we're just going to dive into it. The story is getting a bit juicy, I'd say, at this point. We are one player down today, unfortunately, but we have everyone else here. So the show will go on. Now, without any further ado, I'll give us a little bit of a recap to get us into the mood, remember what's been happening, and then we'll dive straight into it. So the group has had a very interesting few days in Elixir. Not a long time, just a few days, with knowledge of their past coming back to haunt some of the members of our party. With these kind of conflicts coming to a head and these presences making themselves known, the party find themselves in a moment of flee or stand and fight for what they've made. With a mysterious figure named Caspian grounding the group as they all find themselves slightly lost and direction on where to go next, they steady themselves and bring forward a plan on how to overcome these seemingly impossible ends. So, you are all in Thodane's shop. Many of you in the main lounge with Thorn and Ven kind of by themselves processing the knowledge of Frederick and Siren being in the city. Now, as this kind of continues, you guys have a moment to yourselves. If there's anything you wish to bring forward, you have all of your kind of main allies here, and by that I mean just Snowbear and Samara, the kind of assistant to the Thordane shop, secretary. They are here with you. You also have Caspian here, who has announced himself to be by your side for the next few days if you need his assistance, seeing as you have some sort of conflict with Siren and some of these more dangerous individuals. So I leave it to you guys. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. So this is what something I would have done last session if I was here.
Yeah.
Can I do like a history check or some kind of check on Caspian, just to try and get a read on? Have I heard of him before?
Sure, yeah, go for it. Roll a history check.
Okay.
Have you heard of Caspian?
13.
13. Unfortunately, nothing really comes to mind. It's not a name that's really been carried around too much. But the only thing you can remember is is Thordane aware of his abilities? Because I can't remember myself.
Sorry, I won't talk. I'm trying to metagame. Sorry, I'll shut up.
I believe it was only Ven and Fennel that talked to him.
Yes, but no one had shared
Yeah.
that story with the group.
Has he asked us not to?
He didn't say. He left it to you.
Well, I guess so. Caspian was on the ship, but I don't think Thorane saw him. Or
Yeah, I think I came into the room as he
dashed
left, so...
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with little to know about this figure, only a name given. It's not anything that's ringing any bells with a 13, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
But from what you can tell, he's been mentioned a couple of times in your group, seeing as the figure that was at the Cavalier and some other bits here and there. This is someone who's quite strong. They've said they have abilities themselves that can take on threats such as the ones that you had faced. So they have some sort of importance, but their name in history has nothing there that you can remember. So perhaps that means that he is some sort of mercenary, some sort of hidden assassin. Hard to say.
Yeah, mercenaries, because they're doing well for us right now.
Correct. Yes,
like shiny face McDouchebag, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm avoiding the obvious insult, guys. The first syllable of his name's Dick, for God's sakes.
One thing I do want to ask is, whilst this was all happening last session, what was Thodane up to? Because you had all the letters that you received. Snowbear had begun to go through them and had kind of regaled you many of them, and whether any would have kind of like stuck in your mind that you'd want to pursue is up to you.
Oh, the one with all the spelling mistakes, but yeah, definitely. I think that honestly, between having killed a person for the first time yesterday, then within what felt like minutes, if not seconds, of him getting back to the office, everyone else going, "Hey, you know my worst nightmare? Yeah, it's here. It's here. Oh god,
Just FYI, only Finel mentioned Frederick, but he didn't say what connection he has to Ven or what it was.
All right, cool.
So he hasn't told us everything, so...
Yeah, he said almost nothing.
I mean,
he just said...
Siren alone, considering that Thodane's been brought in on that, is enough for the
and also
letters to take a
saying
bit
that they
of
want to kidnap Thorn. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, like everyone, Sienna deciding, oh, by the way, we're leaving. Okay, great, that's not going to look great for me, just from a, hiring perspective. I couldn't keep staff for a day. Yeah, so he's putting his shit on the back burner right now, and is going to hyper focus on Siren and this unknown professor and good old dipshit.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do anything? Wallow in despair, have a short rest. I don't know.
You need to tell us in order who goes first, man. Because
Fennel wants to go speak with Ven at some point, but Thorn, I think, might still be up there.
Those weren't the options. It was wallow in despair or short rest.
Oh, right, okay. All of the above.
No, he's in denial, guys. Come on.
Yeah, come on. He's in denial. Thorn's just she's sat outside the room that Ven is in because she really wants to try and fix whatever she fucked up in that conversation because she did not do very well. And she's also just like sort of just like knees to her chest, arms crossed, like looking ahead, like she's having a lot of internal thoughts right now. And I actually do want to ask, is the tiger saying anything, or is it just
mute?
That bastard. I hate him. Okay, well, she's a lot of thoughts are going through her head just about everything. Like, you know how somebody gets like, when you get panicked, you get like, she's overstimulated, but it's just like boiled over. Her cauldron's boiled over, and she's just like, she almost looks gone pretty much, but she's just in front sat next to the door and waiting for him Ven to come out.
Question.
Yes, Thodane.
This is 100% Jack. So apologies in advance. So basically, you're outside of a door looking sad. Wait, what? Sorry, their door looking sad. Wanted to be let in. Do you want to sing something to the tune of a particular Disney song? Do you want to kill a band?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a bad.
Copyright.
Okay, bye.
Yes.
The filter went after the 14th hour of no song, guys.
I got it. I understand.
We're right there with you, Jack.
Yeah.
So then we'll jump to Fennel, because Fennel, you seem to want to interact with Ven.
Or try to.
Thorn's still sat there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Fennel will make his way upstairs, see Thorn outside, and just asks, how's he doing?
Not good at all. Really not good.
Were you able to speak much about it, or?
I think I made it worse, honestly.
Oh. What'd you say?
I'm not good at Thorn will recount the conversation. Yeah, I told them I'd end up dead tomorrow.
Well,
Thought that'd be something.
that probably wasn't the best thing to say. That's a bit.
Yeah, think about that now. It's not the best thing to say.
Ben can hear all this through the door.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go on.
No, you can.
Paper walls.
Yeah.
Thorn's just like, yeah, I'm not good at the talking thing at all.
Well,
And
I mean, you get better with that as you talk to more people, but yeah, not at least you could probably you can't do much worse.
I think I can.
Well,
So I'm just
try and think
wait.
positive. You don't want to do worse.
I think Thorn just looks at Fennel and she's like, what positives could there be in this scenario?
I'm sure Ven will be fine and you'll be able to talk it through. Just he might need a bit of time just to process what happened.
Well, I have a plan, but I want to talk about it with everybody and not leave anybody out.
That makes sense. Let me see if I can get through to Ven.
I wouldn't do that, honestly. I tried talking to them and I saw a giant shadow and it did not look friendly. So you can go in.
Well, I'll just try knocking on the door and see what happens. And then we'll give it a knock and say,
take a step back.
Ven, it's Fennel.
There's like a small sigh of like, oh, come on.
Do you want to chat?
Oh, okay.
Oh, good start. I'll open the door. I'll go in. So, how are you feeling?
Just a question, Max. In which room am I?
You are in. This is the Vane's
Going.
bedroom.
Is it bedroom? Okay. Because I wasn't sure if we were like in a bathroom or a bedroom or like I don't know.
This is his bedroom. You're on
It's
the
a
top
small
floor. Yeah, so the bottom floor is kind of the main office space, and you go upstairs. You have a living area. You have a small room where all the clothes have been kind of left hanging. Then you have the main bedroom, which has a small toilet next to it. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah, Ven's just kind of in similar poses before, sitting down on the floor, leaning against the wall. Knees up, but he's not hugging his knees now. It's just more like his arms are forward on them. Looking pretty exhausted. I'll be fine, I guess. I don't know. What did you want to talk about?
Nothing in particular. Just wanted to see how you were getting on. I hear Thorn tried to speak with you, and it didn't go too well.
Yeah, I just... I know she's trying her best, but I needed some time to process. I don't know.
Yeah, that's understandable. Everyone has their own time that they need. So timing was a bit off, but don't hold it against her. She had good intentions.
I know. I know she's going through a lot too.
Yeah, sounds like quite a lot of us are. You ready to talk about it?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm kind of scared.
It's understandable. Wait, did Ven see Caspian before going upstairs?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably, but also that's a
Yeah.
blur.
Fair.
Bad headspace.
Well, you don't need to talk about it when you'll obviously you don't need to talk about it until you're ready. But in terms of we've had a quick conversation downstairs as to what we think we should do moving forward, and Caspian's here. I don't know if you noticed him, but he thinks it's best to stay, and he wants to help deal with the situation. So we've got some help, and he was good before.
He wants us to stay?
Yeah, he's apparently connected to other people he can help fight.
I know that he was helpful, but I don't know. I don't know if with everything and everyone there, will that be enough?
Don't know. But then his argument was we have more here than we would if we carried on running.
What if he knows where I am?
Who knows? We can try and do something to
He
try and block
already...
it.
Maybe. He already saw me.
And they were going to send Diplor to kidnap you and Thorn.
Oh, great. That's great.
But Diplor said no. And he got punished for it. And we know who they're after.
Yeah, well, I already kind of knew he was after me.
But all the more reason to potentially stay where we are. We run, we have less around us, more uncertainty, less trustworthy people.
I guess so. We'll have to be really careful. Frederick, he is capable of turning so many against you. On a whim, if he feels like it.
He seemed pretty crazy when I was listening in.
Yeah. Pretty crazy is one way to describe him.
Yeah, don't see how he's gonna convince me to, for example, turn around and not do any of this. He's yeah, no, not my cup of tea.
I don't know. He convinced people who knew me for my entire life that I was something I'm not. Or at least that I wasn't in that moment.
Well, I don't know details. I don't know what he tried to convince them of, but I've seen some pretty crazy shit the last couple of weeks, so I don't think I can be surprised too much more.
I would say you'd be surprised by how capable he is. Thanks. I appreciate that.
No worries. Take your time up here until you feel like you're ready to come down again. I did mention there's a connection for you with this group that we saw. I didn't explain what it was or what happened, but I feel like it's becoming time, if we are going to stay, or even if we're going to run, that perhaps everyone else knows just a little bit.
I'm sorry for dragging you into it.
It's not a problem. Turns out there's someone there that I know too.
There is?
Yeah, the Gil, the Triton, the guy who orchestrated the coup on the ship. Well, I know of him.
You know of him?
Yeah, he known in the criminal side of things down back where we come from.
Can Ven insight that?
Yeah.
Sure, you can try, but if you do, he'll
Hmm.
know you're trying to inspect his words.
Fair enough. Boop. Oh my god. If I get another 9, I'm gonna fuck.
Bro.
Yeah, for this, for now, you can roll a private roll to me if you want. Just roll a d20.
How do I roll privately?
So
It's the icons right above the chat.
yeah, the one that looks like a detective, like
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
private browser sort of looking thing. Okay. Yeah, well, then you're trying to perceive words from someone who's trying to be kind to you. It's hard to like read him in this moment because as well you aren't in the right headspace to be taking in if someone is trying purposefully to lie to you. This is a friend. This is someone who's been there for you. What would he have to gain to hide anything? He seems truthful.
Okay. Well, at least we know something about our enemies.
Yeah, not a lot of weird, strange, unknown people doing it for no reason. Unfortunately, we actually know the reasons.
Yeah. Yay. Sometimes I wish it was for unknown reasons.
But then we'd be confused.
Maybe. But maybe I would be less scared.
Perhaps. Who knows? Anyway, I'll let you sit with your arms over your legs for a little bit longer. Come down and
I do feel like I just ran a marathon.
well, I didn't keep count of how far we ran, but well, it wasn't a small amount of distance.
I think I can come down now.
Sounds good.
Ven's gonna come up close to Fennel and like hold his hand. More for like support than anything.
And Fennel will just squeeze the hand back.
Thanks. You're a good friend.
Oh, anytime.
Okay. So you leave the room. In that moment, it does feel like the room almost glows slightly brighter. The shadows cling less. The room feels more lived in, more alive than what it was before. As the two of you leave the space, you head back down to see everyone else. Everyone's currently in their own kind of seating positions. Caspian sat just arms crossed, leaning against the chair, looking down at the walking, talking bear, just kind of eyeing him up as he goes back and forth. He sees the two of you come down, and then you catch his eye, and he just kind of gives you a nod and then looks away. Well, seeing as we're all here, should we actually discuss what your plans are?
Yes. Thorn's gonna step forward. I have a plan for the rest of the day, but after that, I have nothing really. So, if I can just get my 2 cents in.
Just one second. Snow, get the board. Get the board. I assume that I've got a blackboard.
You do. You just hear him go, "Oh yes! I always love a chalkboard." He then brings it out on its wheels.
Of course, it's dwarven sized, of course, so you're going to have to stoop. But
All right, here you go. And he hands you the chalk.
Snow, why'd you grab the yellow one? Just grab it. Never mind.
Oh.
Thanks. Okay, so it's like Caspian said, we cannot run from this, and being separated will not be any help either. So, I firstly say that Ven and I, and maybe to an extension Fennel, should not be seen for the rest of the day. That we should stay here and be protected, or at least keep up a guard. And we could stay in the spare room that has been sort of cleared out. By the way, Thorn looks very nervous, and she's not even using the chalk or the blackboard at all. She's just sort of fiddling with her thumbs.
So I'm aware that this will have no mechanical use, but Fodane's going to give you a bardic inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
So just Thorn, take a breath. You've got a plan. We gotta listen, but you don't have to get it all out at once. Just take a breath, take a minute, collect your thoughts.
She nods to him, takes a few deep breaths. She sort of straightens her back. So, we know that Diplor is still out there. I suggest maybe sending Caspian, Thordane, or Sienna to go find him, because there's still some answers we can get out of him about Siren, and about Frederick, and about Gil, possibly. Diplor told me that he's worked with Siren before. We could have some clues there on to how exactly he operates. Ven knows Frederick. He knows how he operates as well, so you don't have to tell us what happened, but you do have to tell us how he works, just so we can get an idea on how that goes. For our things are still at the inn, and I suggest that if Sienna still wants to have that dinner with her parents, some of us can go to the dinner, and then the others can grab our stuff from the inn. Or, if she doesn't wish to attend, we can just grab our stuff and come back. We can set up, like I said, in the side room. I know that there's a latch that goes down into that other sort of basement kind of room. We could clear that out as well. And if we need it, it could be a hiding hole. And if times are desperate, we can use the exit to the sewers to escape. And I think that's it. That's all I have for an idea. At least for the rest of the day.
That sounds good to me, honestly.
Yeah. One addendum, more because it just occurred to me. How likely is it that Diplor knows Sienna's family?
I'd say not at all.
Right, okay. But Diplo knows us, so I'm aware that you three have got particular reason, connection, whatever, to not be seen, but Diplo knows a lot of us collectively. So,
Well,
you know,
he did say he wasn't gonna work for them.
Right.
yeah, but I know just as well as anybody, if not more, his thoughts aren't necessarily going to be kept to himself. That's that's my whole shtick, and I'm not the strongest, spellcaster. And from what I'm hearing, these other guys are, so they might be able to get that information. Anyway, it might be best to all hunker down and not send people out alone.
I do not wish to speak out of turn, but I've had a few run-ins with this Diplo. He is not away from reason. If you can find him at some point. He didn't seem to at least fall into the same mind as the rest of them there at that meeting. It could be possible to change his mind. Perhaps he knows more than we do.
Do you think you could find him?
I could try to.
Anyway?
He's slippery, but he has a very unique look. Easy to track.
So, Max, I have a question that it might seem utterly unrelated at first, but I swear to God it is. That judge fella,
Yes.
I'm never using the word fella again, El Rafi. Do their proceedings, because I've basically been asked to gather evidence and then present it. Mm-hmm. Zone of Truth, did they use that to verify to Fodane's knowledge?
It seems so, yes.
Hey, cool. So basically, get back into Fodane. Right, yeah, if you want to get him to help, yeah, I can't help with that until my sister's trial.
Say anything about.
I'm talking to Caspian.
Oh, okay.
Because right now I'm being asked to present evidence for a case, and you can damn well bet that anybody who's on the other side of that evidence is going to try and make me out. Is going to try asking any question they can think of that would make my testimony inadmissible. Things like having found a terrorist and then struck a deal with him for assistance in another matter after he blew up a barracks. It would... I am not willing to risk my sister's life for the help of a scumbag.
That's very noble of you. But if you need the help, you don't have to be the one to speak to him and get directly involved.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that if you do this, I can't be involved. Me not knowing the specifics, knowing it was discussed and not knowing the outcome is very different than knowing for a fact that people have colluded with him willingly. I want to be upfront about that. I want to help, but if that is the course you take, you'd either have to blindfold the hell out of me, which I'm not going to lie would make my effectiveness quite bad. I shoot. Or just not let me ever see him, which might be a problem.
But did they know that it was him? Were you seen, Thorn?
No. I think the only people that saw me were you and Fennel.
As
But-
far as we know, he's seen as a mercenary, not a terrorist.
And let me just say one thing. I don't want his help. I want answers. I don't.
I'm not saying we have to work with him, but if you say that he has worked with Siren before, then he would have some useful information at least.
Right. So I'm saying we interrogate him, not work with him.
Well, talk with him. I don't think interrogation really works on that guy.
I
When I
mean,
get
it's
to
not like there's spells to compel truth or to read his thoughts as we ask questions.
He seemed to have something against that.
No, that's literally my job. That's what I do. That's my skill set. I'm saying that we can interrogate him. We don't need to talk. We don't need to make a deal. We just need to ask him the questions. And if I can be in the room and he's not aware of me, I can read his thoughts as we ask the questions.
No, I mean, he seemed to have something against that. His mask seemed to have some kind of qualities to prevent people interfering with his mind.
So we
This is
take his
true.
mask. How hard would that be?
This is one where if Sienna was here, it might be. Well, Leonie was here. Leonie has a sliver of the mask, right?
Yes.
Do we all know that?
Yes.
You saw he handed it to her directly, yes, at the dinner.
Cool. Leonie, apologies if Sienna would say no and someone says otherwise. Could we have a look at that? Try and figure out what it does.
I can tell you what it does.
That would be good too.
It's a living organism. It's
Wonderful.
Not magical of any kind. It is a creature. Some would call it an ooze or some sort of pseudopod, but it latches on to the person and creates some sort of direct contact between the two to where they become one. That connection can be severed. I can sever it.
I certainly don't like. A quick question. If a bit splits off, is it a new thing? Or is it part of the same thing?
From what I can see, your friend here, Sienna, possesses a slither of the original body. That cannot be duplicated any further. If she were to break the connection with it, the parasite, this pseudopod, would die.
Okay. And while the connection's active, can it feed information to its daddy mask?
I don't know.
Wonderful.
There is a moment where you see, as Caspian's talking to Thordain, he looks directly towards you, Ven. Don't move. And he's going to walk up. Reach up with one hand. Grab something in the air. And you see it almost become light. Like a tether rising up to the sky through the wooden boards of the ceiling. And you see he holds onto it. This Frederick is very trying to find you.
He's watching, isn't he?
He flexes, and you watch as that entire line just freezes in place and then just shatters into small particles. No, he was just simply trying to track you down. That means he's in the area at least. The spell's range can only go so far. And you see he walks towards the window and looks.
Fennel, you feel Ven squeeze your hand really hard.
Expecting his head to just go.
Okay. Max, those charms against protection from scrying and detection.
Mm-hmm.
How common are they? How expensive are they?
You can roll an Arcana check if you'd like.
Can we get one right now?
We go to your patrons and we're like, please, 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 please,
Yeah.
please.
Do I have one in the back? You know, can I check the back? 17.
17. They're fairly common. They aren't common as per the rarity. They're more like uncommon items, but they're sold around different areas, different places. They're infused into different sorts of items. They aren't just anti-divination charms. A lot of them are kind of used to push away the spirits and any sort of harmful entities that would try and rack someone's mind. They're sold in different areas and different places, but when it comes to trying to find one, that might be a little bit difficult. By the way, you roll an acrobatics check, not an Arcana check.
Oh, crap.
I just
so
noticed that.
How the fuck did I miss that badly? Okay, so instead of a plus... Okay, that would have been 21.
Okay.
Hey Max, do I know about this? Backflips.
Hold on, guys, let me check.
I am the best rogue. 21. Yeah, you'd know the same amount of information. They can be enchanted, inscribed into different items. They also come in the form of spell scrolls as well. So if you were to go to some sort of diviner, someone that knows divination magic, they might be able to help you out quite easily.
Hey, long shot, does Snow Bear function as one? He's got a bit of every magic in him. Hey, hold this.
With a 21, you get the sense that, yeah, there's a little bit of anti-divination in there. Yeah.
Bro's got everything.
No, I think Max is saying that Snow Bear is definitely not divine. He's anti-divine. He's hellish.
He also said he has every single fucking magic in there, so like, you can't
you're
pinpoint.
going-
He has all of it.
He's like the
As you go
go-go
through
gadget
this-
of magic.
Pretty much.
Go, Gadget Wonder Boots.
As Caspian is looking out the window, you hear him kind of open it slightly, and he just kind of pays attention with his ear. Yes, I think he's currently flying above us. I can hear him shouting your name. Ven.
Oh.
So sewers, we should go, right?
He's not found us yet. Did Caspian?
Now, with the rest of you here.
Oh, no.
Where
go.
are
Go, go,
you?
go.
Yeah, so,
I start pushing Fennel and Ven to the
yeah, Caspian, did he know that you disrupted his spell?
Yes, he knows.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
we are
great.
fucked.
But
Please.
Let's go.
Please
He
tell
clearly
us the
doesn't
next
know
time
where
you
we
give us
are.
a big beacon where we are.
he doesn't know where we are.
Oh, he's got a ballpark.
Well, look at him. At this point, you see this flying wizard in kind of black and green robes just going around, making a perimeter, and you see his voice is almost being boomed further to echo out into the halls. As he continues to fly, screaming, shouting for Ven's name, you begin to watch as fire giants, those same female flying fire giants, begin to descend towards him. And you just watch as he kind of like... and no longer is his voice booming, but instead having a conversation. You see Caspian just kind of watches. Well, it looks like he got in trouble for getting involved. And yes, he's being told to go back home.
But he knows our general area now. He's gonna be patrolling it at this point.
The spell
Should
he
be-
used goes for miles and miles on end. We're in a city, in a residential area. That is
Yeah,
one out of a million.
We're also, my office is specifically on a high street, which is quite a populated area as is. So even if it was specific, he's got somewhere in the busiest street. It's close to the middle of the day now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so peak shopping time.
And like I said, we have that hole down there that we can hide in if need be.
Oh yes, the danger hole.
Let's not call it that.
There is
think it's
another
a suitable
option
name.
that I can throw out there. If we can track down perhaps where this Frederick is staying, I can try to remove what is such a burden to the rest of you, if we think it's worth the time and effort.
What do you mean?
The thing that makes him so special is magic. To track you down, to influence those around him. That can go with just a touch of my hand.
It's that simple.
Everything.
You can take magic?
Yes, I can.
Hey, can you give magic?
What?
No,
Ah, shame.
I would never want to.
Oh.
The hand does not giveth, but it do taketh away.
Worth a try.
Would he
Uh,
forget about me?
His memory will still be the same. He just won't have the utility that he's been relying on to track you down. He'll be as helpless as any other person in this world.
Could we make him more helpless at all? Could we put him at a disadvantage?
Well, clearly you could kill him or imprison him for his deeds. But I'm not going to do that for you.
Yeah, do we have, besides Ven, I don't know your full deal, but you seem to know him. Besides whatever testimony you have, do we have any evidence? Do you have any evidence, Caspian?
Well, I don't have evidence per se, but I've seen his influence. He has a strong mind. I can see he has great affinity with persuasion, charming, altering the mind. And I've learned over the years that he himself comes from a very strong organization that relies on these magics. He's potent,
Right.
a strong
Okay.
spellcaster, but all spellcasters have their weaknesses, as does everyone.
Right. So, more of a character witness for the prosecution than evidence. Always useful. What's his full name?
What are you asking?
Because I've got the blackmail folder, and I want to see if maybe if not the first name of the surname has ever cropped up.
Mm-hmm. Zadru, right, Max?
Mm-hmm.
Project Zadru.
Cool. I would like to.
If you think that's gonna work on him, it's not going to.
Yeah, not on its own, but as a piece, it could.
If you really think you can take him to court and put him to jail, you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I could. However, getting the evidence means we could get perhaps more official allies and cut off some of his. I'm private. I'm aware that not every case I get is gonna go to court. Sometimes it's handled outside of them. I prefer it when it's not, but sometimes that's honestly better. But the evidence can be used in other ways: cutting off allies, getting our own, giving us just information. And if any of the information I might have could possibly give us he likes to stay here.
He does have a stay here. I don't know where exactly, but I know approximately.
Okay. If you could give me the approximate, I will cross-reference to some of his stuff and see if a piece of shit wizard might like to stay.
Max, correct me if I'm wrong. We said the mountainside of the city?
Correct.
It's the mountainside of the city.
Okay. So, mountainside of the city.
He does come from a rich background, if that helps.
Rich background. He's got an ego on him based on that shit alone of the broom. So he's not going to be... Even if he's going to hide, it's going to be a big place. The place... Like, even if the place is hidden, it's going to be, I imagine, a bit ostentatious. He strikes me as somebody who quite likes being wealthy.
Yes, he is.
Okay, which means there's going to be a money trail, which means that there's probably would have been workers involved. Mountainside City, potentially someone trying to keep a large amount of furnishings and expensive shit under wraps as they move it around there.
Keep in mind that he moves a lot.
True, but everyone's got their creature comforts. Nobody will move all the time. He'll have a favorite place, and we might have just pissed him off enough where he might want the good shit. So I could see him go in there. Wow, I'm actually detecting it's weird. And
Ben's just getting more and more nervous as this whole entire conversation's going on. Like, he looks very on edge.
yeah,
I was gonna ask, Jack, did you say that in character or as yourself?
I am saying this. I'm saying it in my own voice because I'm actually brainstorming right now. I can't do that.
I really hope you can't hear my cat, by the way, because she's been meowing at me for the past 15 minutes.
No,
Seen them, not heard them.
Okay.
And also add on to that a bit of a profile. High cost spell components, because he's is the wizard just confirmed, or were you saying that more general?
Ven would say that he's a wizard at one point, probably.
Okay, cool. So high level spell components. Would I be right in saying perhaps with the necromantic persuasion? Any particular school that you know of?
DM, just based on things, enchantment?
Yeah.
And divination at this fucking point. Enchantment, divination.
Okay, sweet.
Well, Caspian did also say they have a affinity for persuasion and charms.
Yes, and minds.
One thing to bear in mind, Thodain, is that you won't find much of his backstory, because he comes from a place where they tend to keep things very secretive. Organization known for discreet learning.
Yeah. I mean, if that's discreet, then they need to pick up a fucking dictionary.
One thing that surprises me the most is that none tend to leave that organization with their minds. He seems to be floating around of his own accord.
Again, I don't think that is somebody with the full faculties intact. So, and I'm not after his past here, I'm after where he is now. Everyone has a profile, and everyone's profile will give you hints of where they might go. But basically, we've got arrogant bastard who likes his wealth, who definitely will be doing active experiments in the city around the mountainside. Find any receipts that give us enough of that, we might get a closer ballpark of that.
Just please be careful.
I will be. It just look. Ven, since we started this, I've not had much of a chance to properly detect. So part of me's kind of excited, also scared shitless, but I'm focusing on the positive there.
I just don't want it to affect the case with your sister.
Oh, that ship might have sailed, but doesn't have to negatively impact.
What is wrong with your sister? You keep bringing this up. What is the deal here?
Yeah, I don't know you. So I'm going to keep that to myself. It is a private matter and a governmental matter. So
I have friends in high places.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. So I don't know who to trust. I don't know if your friends can be trusted. I'm willing to trust you on this because I can tell you do not like this friend. Which, seems to be...
I want a metagame so fucking bad right now. I want a metagame so bad right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't here in the past campaign, so all I know is this guy's kind of enigmatically sketchy. Like, I trust he doesn't like Frederick, but that's all I've got.
I know, but I want a metagame so bad. Just like, trust him!
So Dane,
trust him! He's good!
He's helped me before.
Yeah,
without really asking for anything in return.
Cool, but you've both got a person you want, I'm going to assume dead, in common. And...
No, we don't.
Frederick?
No, well, I didn't know he had anything to do with Frederick at the time.
Cool. Hey, did you know that Ven had anything to do with Frederick at the time?
I have no interest in this, Frederick. My eyes are focused on Siren and another that deals in experiments, just as he does. Frederick is just a long line of arseholes that use their abilities against the betterment of law and order.
Okay, the use of arsehole there did get you a point, but at the moment, let's just focus on this as, well, two buildings are gone. And just, it's also really freaking out. People have hired, and I'd rather get that sorted if at all possible. And if I need your help with my sister, we'll come to that then. For now, I will see if I've got anything for that area of town. And I would like to do...
Ben's gonna, turn to Fennel and kind of pull him aside. Can we talk?
Yeah.
A bit later, alone?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Thanks. He is sweating bullets, by the way, at this point.
Yeah.
Caspian.
I'll be honest. Oh, go ahead.
Just a quick question for Caspian. You said Frederick was part of another group before. What group?
Well, their name isn't really spread around too much. They try to keep themselves secret. They're called the Soothsaying Nimbus. A place that holds no tether to reality and goes between the planes as it sees fit. They are a group of selfish, entitled, apprehensive mages who learn and keep the secrets that they find to themselves. I've come across one in this city years ago. His mind turned to complete and utter mush. Could not even come up with a phrase except for repeating the same words over and over again. Trapped in a never-ending cycle because he chose to leave. He left. And that is why I'm surprised to see someone of Frederick's status so alive, talkative. Yes, Thodain, you're right. There's something not correct with his mind. It's fractured in some way. But for all that can be said, he's still pumping. He's still alive, and that doesn't sit well with me. And he's not hiding either.
Who is this person that you're talking about? The one with the mush mind or whatever. Is he still in the city?
Frederick?
No.
No, there is another one.
Oh, you mean the first one?
I've come across a few, but the only one that's still alive, due to their own meddling in prolonging their life, is an individual from a house long forgotten. But I wouldn't worry too much. The home in which he resides is pretty much bare and broken, and he is of no semblance of life, nor could you gather any information from him.
I want to hurt you so bad. Just say it. Just say it. I know who it is.
See, Thodain doesn't know he's in a story, but Jack's just going, "Oh, that's a huge steaming pile of foreshadowing right there."
No, it's
could have his or somebody of that kind, their consciences or their mind be separated into fractures into different people?
The powers and energies that many can control, especially an organization of this status, I wouldn't put it past them, no. There is the ability to clone, of course. People can duplicate themselves and make them do more deeds in a faster time. They can slow reality, make it go faster if they wanted to. To split your mind takes some doing. But if you're saying what I think you're saying, then he is in much more shit than it first looked like. Fractured, definitely. Scattered, perhaps. There is pieces missing. That's for certain.
the shop we were in a few days ago. You know, the biker who stepped in between you and the younger one, Thorn?
Yeah, that was a bit weird, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He had some resemblance. Something about him that looked like Frederick.
Is there anybody else that you've seen that looks like Frederick or is like Frederick?
There's one lie in this situation because one other person in this room knows the answer to that question. Well, I kind of want to roll a dice because I don't know.
Do it.
Okay, I'll roll privately.
Has Frederick actually been described to anybody who wasn't there?
Okay. No?
Not really, but I'd say because you had seen him out of the window flying overhead, he seems to be quite
send the picture.
Yeah, well, we can send an image since they've already done art for them.
I mean, you can see that I sent the thing.
Art?
Yeah.
I'm more asking if I know Rika looks like. Wait, was it Rika?
Yeah, that was Rika.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have been able to, like, see his face from up above, to be fair.
And, like, honestly, Thorn has never seen Ricker at all.
And even Ven had
I don't even think Thordain saw Ricker.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah?
I thought I was there for one conversation.
What about in the market? Who was there in the market?
It was you and Sienna.
Ooh, yeah. And then you guys didn't come flying with us.
Yeah, the only time Van ever saw Ricker with the entire party there was... I don't think even Thordain was there. I think he stayed in the room when everyone was outside. So I don't think he's ever seen Ricker.
Yeah, Thor wasn't there when you committed the murder.
Yeah. There was one person on the boat that kind of looked like him.
Can we find him? Where's he at?
I don't know. Probably on the boat.
Right.
But he sailed back.
I want an inside check, but that's so metagaming.
That's metagaming! That's metagaming!
Yeah. I mean, this. I don't know if this question counts, but it's also something Frodan would ask. Did you get a name, or did you see his face?
I believe his name was Ricker.
Right. Okay. We can ask. Send a letter, maybe, or just find someone to look into a Ricker who works as a like a deckhand or something.
I would rather we focus on the main Frederick that's literally in the city right now, if possible.
Can I insight check that? Because that is he's got doppelgangers. Like, I'd want to look into that.
We don't know if they're doppelgangers, to be fair.
You've just said there's multiple identical versions of him.
Not identical. He said they looked like similar to him. Because from what I understood, Max, the biker didn't have such a resemblance.
He was much more bearded, wearing slightly different costumes, so it was more harder to see the similarities. That's why it didn't catch you the first time.
Yeah, but it was still, difficult to. So
even
it's
if you
not
were
like
to clean shave all of them and make them kind of in the same outfit, you would still struggle to see the similarities unless you were to know them. Like your child, essentially, you see their face, you're gonna know.
Right. Okay, but that's still, you're noticing the same shared facial things between multiple strangers.
Yeah, that's because he's traumatized, not because it's him.
Yeah, and you're saying don't worry, ignore that when you brought it up. That's my logic.
Yeah, just roll the insight check because it's not gonna be what you think it is. Jesus.
Cool. That's not for a lie so much as what the fuck is going on. So there's no advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. I don't know shit.
You don't even have to roll. Ben just looks genuinely fucking scared.
Yeah, I got that. I'm more trying to get like, are you trying?
Well, you didn't.
Want to look into that,
so
or
move on.
Yeah. No. Again, I don't need to incite. Ven looks scared at all. I was inciting. Why don't they want us to look into that? But so I don't. I know nothing.
You told us. We know.
Yeah, but if we could just please, we don't even know if that's useful to us at this moment.
Right, okay. If it turns out to be, and that comes back to bite us in the arse, that would be docked from you. But whatever, it's your case basically.
Yeah.
Ven, I would not worry. You have me by your side, and I make it my job to eliminate people like Frederick. He is my speciality. They cannot affect me. I can affect them. Do not worry. I can see you're scared. But you don't need to be.
Nothing. Never mind. What are we gonna do about Siren, though?
Yeah,
Is he your specialty as well, Caspian?
He is an oddity for sure. He is a strange one. There are many not like him. He's very unique and makes it difficult. Certainly a hard task. I've been trying to track him for the better part of a decade. And he's constantly elusive. Tricks. His schemes. They're unlike any others, but I've tracked him down before, and I've been able to help people who have been stuck in his situation. I've been able to free many people. Perhaps I can ask one of them to see if they have knowledge.
Wait.
They're all in safe places now.
Do you know Gemini? Jacob and Sarah?
That name doesn't ring a bell, unfortunately.
Okay.
Does he have any aliases? Anything he uses to hide his dealings that you're aware of?
Not at all. He keeps himself. He does not make himself present or public. He has no need to. He has a wealth behind him which is unfathomable. He's able to create strange machines with not much of a thought. He's unlike anything from what you'd expect. And he has loyal servants that will do anything he asks.
Wonderful.
And he doesn't use magic, you said?
He does not. All of his techniques are strange or mundane. He has no need for magic.
So, like, is he an alchemist? Does he work with machines? Both?
Anything that you can think of being the most terrifying and or strange, he uses those as parlor tricks. He is one of the most sadistic people that I've ever met. And I've never wanted the pleasure more to see him in person, so I can remove him from the board. But to get to him, there are others that I need to go through first.
Right. Okay. Right, so far, and sorry, Fawn, we've been going off just verbal stuff, so... And he's going to hold out his hand, he's going to cast Minor Illusion, there's going to just be a blank head. I want someone to describe him in detail. Basically, I want a police artist sketch, Minor Illusion, editing it until we get as good, or if not, dead on. Just so we've got an actual face to look for, not just a name.
Okay, first of all, that's dope as fuck. I love that idea.
Thank you.
That's pretty damn good. Also, I just want to say, after Caspian has been describing Siren and his doings and deeds, he has not stopped trembling almost, but she's trying so hard to keep the illusion that she's focused in there, but you can tell that she's gripping her pants and just trying to find a center. You're doing great.
Yeah, side question, Max. Does Alex Shea have something like food delivery just for junk food, comfort food? Can Fodane order a shit ton of ice cream?
I thought you were Loki gonna ask, is there a therapist's office?
I thought you were gonna ask, is there a drug dealer nearby? Honestly.
You see Samara just I'll go out and get some food for everyone since we're going to be here for a while, and she just heads out.
Yeah, sugary. Make it sugary. We need that.
Okay, yeah, sure, I can get that.
Yeah, okay. Snow Bear, stay.
Stay.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm here for the yucks this session. But yeah.
Thorn, she's gonna take a deep breath and she'll just say, "I know his face very well. I'll describe him."
Right. Okay, if you don't want to do this now, we can do it later, but we do need to do it at some point. I'd also like to get one of Frederick. I'm just going to hold that. I know technically it's two castings, but for two blank faces, I don't. That fit in the space.
That's fine.
I'd also like to get one for Frederick later, and then we'll get it onto a piece of paper because we need to keep an eye out for them. And as not everyone has seen either of them, the more of us that can recognise them on sight, the more likely we get away. I don't think we can handle them on our own.
Yeah. I'll say it now because I don't think I'll be able to say it later. And she will describe how Siren looks, every single detail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, really, 2 moles? Wow, what an ugly fucker.
She does not laugh.
You begin to describe, and what comes out is this old, wrinkled man, mainly bald of head, really. The head itself kind of slightly protruding backwards. Ears that seem, one of them almost melded into the skin on the left, the other kind of slightly pointed to the tip. The face slightly sagged to one area as well. Sinking jowls that just kind of hang slightly low by the chin. His eyes sunken inwards, bone structure pointed to the front, and his nose slightly small but hooked at the very end. His mouth is almost receded in, hidden underneath the jowls almost. But his nose kind of comes out and creates that silhouette at the side.
Again, for a moment of levity, until you said the small nose, I thought you were describing Gargamel from the Smurfs.
I knew you were thinking about that because I was thinking about that.
I wrote to Cassie, fucking Voldemort looking at.
Think Vulture. Think Vulture.
Wait, no, shit! Fennel, Ven, you're blue! It's Gargamel.
Shut the fuck
It's all connected.
up.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'm done. I'm out.
I think Max is gonna kill me.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my god.
Let me. This has been a heavy session. Okay, let us have this.
I had the fucking. I gave him the description.
Don't make characters while watching the Smurfs, kids.
I wasn't. Okay. But by the end of her describing this, she's not hiding it anymore. She's absolutely lost in her own mind, and she's struggling to get back into the moment.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm just going to turn to Snow. Okay, Snow, I didn't think this through. We need to get this on paper. Literally just occurred to me as I just turned to Snow. Did I ever make Snow a police sketch artist as a child?
Yes, of course you did.
Yeah, that honestly, I can't even say that's bullshit. That makes sense. Okay, so I need you to get this on, unless you were already doing it. But either way, just get this to paper. I know, right. Snow asking a lot, but this one is like, think of this as the creme de la creme of scumbags you've got to catch.
No, I get it. I'll try my best. All right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any fingers. Just so you're aware, he's got like one.
It's gonna be slow, but he's gonna be methodical.
Hey, there's people out there who draw with their feet. You know, if an elephant can do it, so can Snow Bear.
Yeah, and you know, some elephants can fly, so you know.
Okay.
Dumbo. No, the movie, not you.
Yeah, we fucking got it, Jack.
We know.
It's now been 26 hours. Give me a break.
Snow Bear continues to create these portraits, try and get the best out of the illusions that you've created. It takes quite a few papers. He goes, "Oh, I slipped," and he just has to get a new one, and then he kind of goes through the process again. But eventually, after about 20 or so paper going through one by one, he has them ready to fairly good reproductions of the minor illusion you had made.
There we go. Thank you, Snow. Okay. We got that. We have a plan to hunker down. We have sugary treats incoming. And is there anything else pertinent that needs to be shared right now? Okay. Okay. Right. It has been a day. For some of us more than others. So I think, at the very least, take an hour to decompress. Okay? Have a shout, have a cry. If you want to go into the sewers and kill a bunch of the blue balls, you do that. But just, focus on you guys right now. Let's get centered, and then we'll tackle it with fresh eyes.
Okay. As you prepare to have essentially a short rest in Thordain's workshop, you all find moments to kind of sit around and just decompress a little bit. During all of this, you see Caspian go up to you for now, as you're kind of sat there by yourself. He'll just walk up and just kind of place himself next to you. So where were you when it all happened? I imagine it was quite a shock. 20 years ago, the events of Ishvahi changed everything. The people down below, the people up top. What's your story?
Yeah, that was a crazy time. I don't remember too much of it, to be honest. One minute you're underwater minding your own business, the next you're breathing fresh air. It's chaos, basically. Not the best time. Preferred it when it was all underwater.
Yes, well, it's gotten very political. Not something I'd like to get involved with. I leave that to other, more capable people.
Funnily enough,
yes.
I don't like getting involved into it all that much either. And yet, I am.
And what is your job then?
An emissary. I'm here to try and make relations, smooth things out, bridge what the war is breaking, making a gap, keeping a gap.
A thankless job?
Well, it gets me out of being in politics all the time, directly involved, so I'm grateful.
Well, sometimes you've got to stay out of it, don't you? But sometimes you have to get involved, get your hands dirty. Not easy.
No.
That's for certain. And how comes you're involved in all of this, then? You seem quite perky, given everyone else's sour demeanours.
Well, I quite enjoyed my travels, and someone needs to liven up the mood. As to what I'm doing here, I've been on my own, mostly, so it's nice to have some companions again.
Yes, well, it does get lonely out on the road. You're right. And who are you doing this all for, then? For yourself? For your nation? I don't mean to pry. I have no real benefit out of all of this, but you strike me as someone who is very keen, very headstrong. So, for all of this to be taking place, there must be something in it. You must want something out of this.
Well, I suppose it's a bit of both. It would be nice for the war to end, for things to go back to some normalcy. My travels, in a way, takes me away from the chaos that's back home. So, partially for myself, I guess.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, I'll leave you to stay at your rest. I was just curious.
No, perfectly fine. I have to say, I've never heard of someone able to just remove magic. Not that I know much about magic, but from my understanding, it was always something much more mystical.
There's different parts to it. It's fairly mystical, but even the mystical arts has some tangibility to it. It's just a matter of perspective. If you can understand the origin, then you can mold what comes from it. I am part of a unique sect of people who have unlocked this knowledge. It was more so gifted to me, but I had a hunger and a drive to get it. I was selfish, but I am not more. Sometimes you have to fend for yourself, and then other times you realize that there's more to fight for. But this isn't any sort of gift. I thought it was to begin with. It is mainly a curse, because everyone seeks it. Everyone tries to abuse it.
I can definitely imagine that being the case. Quite a useful...
But it has had... Go on, go for it.
Well, I can definitely see why that would be the case. It's a very useful skill.
Yes, and I've certainly used it in those sorts of situations. I was there when everything was going to shit. And, well, I never thought I'd be in that sort of situation to help. A lot of people see me as the bad guy. But sometimes you can have a change of heart. I realize that what I have isn't a curse. It is for the most part, but there's one benefit that came out of it. I can look at the love of my life in her eyes, and that is enough to bring all of the bad deeds that I've done to rest. But you said you don't have magic. There's a small spark of it in you.
Oh.
We all have some spark.
Yeah, there is a small piece, but nothing any other Triton can't do.
You'll be surprised.
Well, if I do start developing more magical ability, I look forward to it. It seems like a very handy thing to have.
Just don't abuse it, otherwise I'll come knocking.
I'll make sure to keep it hidden from you then.
Well, not a lot of things can nowadays. You see, he gives a small smirk. And he'll just kind of keep to himself. Then, at some points, you see the shadow kind of appear by your side and kind of talk and just be present for some moments. As they kind of are there, you do see every so often Caspian just staring in their direction. Just sat there, just looking. As the eye is kind of caught in their direction, you see the shadow just kind of look to you. I'm not enjoying all of these people being able to see me. It's very unnerving.
Yeah. I believe that he can see you, yes. We'll need to talk more in private.
And what about us? What do we do next?
I think we need to tell Fennel what happened. Someone needs to know before he makes a move.
Well, I will follow your lead then. If you think it's the right move, I'll follow.
Do you not agree?
There's something I can't really put down on the fishman. Something different.
What do you mean?
But I don't know. I can only see as much as you can. But if we get a little closer, perhaps more things will be visible. Everyone has cracks. These just seem to be covered.
I don't know if anyone else is having problem hearing Max, but he is sounding very muffled.
Yeah, you're going in and out.
Okay, that's probably just my connection then.
Oh, there you go, you're fine now.
My ping keeps going out.
Oh, Jesus.
Alright.
always great.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the shadow just say, everyone has their cracks. He's just very good at hiding them.
Did notice something back there, but I thought it was just paranoid.
Talk to him.
Okay. As for Frederick, it would be nice to see him powerless for once. But I don't know how doable that is.
That would be a delight. To see him struggle, throw him into a barren, snow-covered forest, watch him squirm, trying to create fire with his hands, but fail. He needs to be punished. But I think we can find more suitable ways for that, can't we?
Let's not discuss that here, especially with prying eyes. But I'm interested.
I think you're right. Your little hunch. We'd seen that Rika was a piece to this puzzle. Perhaps the others that we've spotted could also be of some benefit. I felt somewhat lighter. Maybe if we got rid of the others, maybe more will be shown.
But what does that do, really?
I could see, I could feel something. A connection between the two of you strengthened. Now, if we got more of that connection from easier targets, then perhaps that will give us a better advantage over this Frederick. Find his weaknesses.
Okay. I need to think on that. We can always talk more later.
Well, I intend to stay from this point onwards.
Like all the time?
I'm always here for you, Ven. And at this point, looks over towards Caspian, gives a slight wave. I don't really care who sees me.
Are you sure this is the best time?
I don't see why we shouldn't just let it all out.
To all of them?
Can start off with your little friend first. You trust him, don't you?
More than the others?
Maybe see what he has to say.
Okay, but don't just like appear out of nowhere. He'll probably freak out.
Do you think I'm really going to do that? Come on. Really?
Well, wow, would you look at the time? Oh, I need to go talk to him. Stands up. Walks over to Fennel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ben, how are you feeling?
You know, as good as you can be when a psycho is chasing after you.
Pretty positive then.
I guess.
Did you want to find a quiet corner?
Yeah, please.
Excuse me, Caspian.
He kind of looks at the two of you. He looks at Ven. Looks past Ven for a second. That's fine. Just make sure you go somewhere discreet, where no one can hear you. These walls are quite paper thin.
Noted.
Right.
It's down to where the blue balls are.
No, please. Please don't say it that way.
During this downtime, the rest of the group is somewhat distracted by the food that Samara's brought in. You can see she's basically got large shopping bags. I didn't really know what anyone wanted, so I got a load of ice cream. I got some chocolate. You said a lot of sugary things, but I also got some like actual meals. Thodane, I thought that might be a little bit easier for everyone. Some edible stuff. I know that the sugar will help mull things over, but I don't want you all getting a little bit out of shape.
Yeah, it was more for offsetting the panic. Like, chocolate's especially good for that, dopamine and all that. Is dopamine a thing? Never mind.
Well, here you go. You can have whatever you like. And she just starts kind of getting things out. Here you go, and passing it around. The two of you sneak away for a bit.
I'm going to use minor illusion to make the sound of a dinner bell.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. I'd be assuming that she got possibly accidentally got stuff for Snowbear. She seemed very eager to please. Yeah, you see Snowbear's got like a little bib on, and he's looking around. Oh, I can't wait! I'm starving.
Snow, we've been over this. You don't have organs or a mouth. We can figure out getting you about at least a stomach later. For now.
What? What?
Would you like to go through existence without never having good food?
I'm saying this.
It sounds like Frankenstein kind of stuff now going on.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, this fucking teddy bear. I'm leaving this game.
He's just wearing a human suit.
We're level 20, and there's just a fucking gargantuan hill giant with Snowbear where the head is. It's a meat mech.
Hello. He's just there.
Stop. That's awful. I hate thinking about that.
All of you begin to have some food whilst Fennel and Ven, the two of you, sneak away. You find a spot discreet enough, quiet enough to have your conversation.
Okay, this seems private enough. That conversation I'm sure must have been difficult. It's intense, but made it through.
Yeah. I know Thane's confident in his abilities and all, but there's just something, when a person who is like that, who, hurt you, gets underestimated. Something about that stings. I want to tell you what happened.
Okay, what happened when?
What he did.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But you have to believe me. And don't tell the others yet, please.
My fish lips are sealed.
Rip Robbie.
Frey, I'm gonna fucking kill you out of character. I'm gonna fucking kill you. He used to be my friend, actually. What I thought was a friend, at least. Before him, most people I met only were friendly towards me because they wanted to be with me. And then, he came along and I thought we were good friends, and he offered to teach me magic, as my magic at the time wasn't really great or controlled by any means. But, he was charming at first. But as things went on, well, I guess I didn't see it at the time, but now he became more possessive. And about a year of knowing him, being friends, he invited me to some kind of dinner with his fancy, noble friends. I kind of didn't want to go. I didn't feel like I belonged there. I mean, I come from a family of bakers, really. But I did go. He convinced me. And during the dinner, he proposed to me. I didn't know what to say to him, other than no. Honestly, I felt kind of betrayed. I thought somebody finally saw me as just a friend, but he did all those nice things just to, I guess, get me to say yes. Well, I went home. I got out of there. I don't know if his friends were laughing at him or at me or whatever, but he doesn't take no as an answer, let's say. He didn't take it well. He came to my house and said he wanted to talk. I said yes. In hindsight, that was probably the worst decision I could have made. We went to a spot where we would usually talk, hang out. I thought we could hash things out, that we could, stay friends. But he, first he begged me to say yes, to marry him, that he'd do anything. But I just didn't see him that way. And then he got angry. And he changed in a second. Into a person I didn't know. He looked the same, sounded the same, but and Ven's gonna take off the choker he's always wearing, slowly. And there is a a scar going around his entire neck, a really bad one. There was a fountain there. He used his magic to summon some kind of vines. He grabbed my neck and he would push my head under, and then he would bring me back up when I was on the verge of passing out. And he waited for my answer, and if it wasn't what he wanted, he would do it again. And that went on for, I don't know how long, felt like an eternity to me. Eventually, I said yes. He let me go. I told him to get closer so I could say it to him. I kicked him and I ran. I thought I was gonna get home, be safe, but I don't know how. I don't know how he did it so quickly, but right as I was about to enter, I got apprehended by the guards. And I was trialed the next day. I still don't know for what. For attacking him, apparently. And I couldn't say anything. Because of the ring. And they kicked me out. And nobody said anything. And nobody spoke up. So when I say he can change people's minds, he can. That entire village that was my home for 20 years, nobody said a word. And now I'm here. He starts to like tear up, and tears start streaming down.
Ven, that's just awful. What's happened? I'm sorry that's happened to you. There's nothing else. Nothing we can do now. I wish we could have done something back then, or the village could have done something, but that's terrible. What we can do is get this guy now, though. And we'll do our best to.
I'm just scared if the others find out that, you know, they'll believe him. Like back then.
It's hard to say. I mean, it also sounds like his magic is specialized to control people. I don't think anyone here would choose to side with him.
I'm scared he'll also hurt my family. He mentioned them when he saw me.
We just need to get to him first. I'm sorry you've had to carry this burden on your own.
It's been hard. But thank you. You're the first person I told.
Well, I'm very touched that you decided to share with me, of all people.
I trust you the most.
Well, I promise I won't turn into him either.
You don't seem like the type of guy to do that.
Nope. I wouldn't say I am either.
I don't think there's many people like him, to be honest.
I hope not. I'd rather not be in the minority.
That would be pretty bad. And gives him a hug.
Fenella hug back.
He holds on tight for a couple of seconds. Thank you for believing me.
Hey, I've seen the guy. He sounds crazy enough to do that kind of stuff. I don't doubt what you said for a second. Well, heard.
You know, wish I could show that version of him to my home.
Well, if he keeps acting this way, because it doesn't seem like he's acting very irrationally at the moment, maybe Thordain could do his illusion stuff and show your village.
That would be a sight to see for sure. Thank you again. Sorry, I keep saying thank you.
No, there's nothing to thank. Any normal person should be prepared to listen and be there.
There's one more thing. My magic hasn't been the same since that happened.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it didn't used to be this, and he kind of swirls around a shadow from his hands.
Oh, that's a interesting kind of magic. What do you do with control of shadows?
Lots of things.
Wait,
Mostly.
I saw shadow hands on the ship trying to pick it up when it was falling.
That was me, kind of. Kind of looks around for a second for a Melody or Discord.
Mm-hmm. You see Melody behind Fennel in a shadow against the wall. The eyes just staring out.
Ben's gonna kind of take Fennel's hands. Okay. You know how I asked you to trust me before?
Sure. Yep.
I'm asking you to, not freak out now.
What do you mean, not freak out? You're not gonna make more big hands come through the wall again, are you?
No. Well, not now. If needed, I could, but preferably not.
If needed?
The thing is, it's not fully me. There's technically someone else that's been around.
Well, they're very good at hiding. What do you mean there's been someone else?
Yeah. Looks at Melody like, help me out. Please help me out.
You, Fennel, hear from behind you a voice begin to speak out. And you hear it just say, well, When Ven says they weren't their hands, they weren't lying. They were mine. And as you turn, you see the silhouette of a shadow inside of a shadow. Slender, tall, made out of mist and dark black energy, just appear in that space with white eyes that just stare back to you. Hello.
They're nice, I swear.
Your hands are smaller.
Well, I'm also made of shadows, so it's a matter of perspective.
Is it?
Well,
is that how shadows work?
And you watch as its hand extends out. It almost grows larger and larger and larger. You just see it touch the end of the wall of this room. Is this big enough?
Yeah. I get it. Okay. So you're a shadow.
You watch as it kind of shudders for a second, and you see the frame, the form of it become slightly wider, bulkier, a tad bit taller as well, and the voice almost changes as well, grows slightly deeper. Well, yes, shadows are, here and everywhere.
But not all shadows do this. At least my shadow has never done this.
Kind of looks at Ven. This isn't really how I thought this would go.
I had no idea how this was gonna go.
Seems very unfazed by this.
No, I'm very confused. I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm trying to process what I'm looking at.
Oh, well, I am Discord.
Okay.
And he comes closer, and he extends a hand out to you to shake yours. Pleasure to meet you.
Okay. I'll shake the hand.
Okay, you grab the hand.
How's it feel?
It feels real. You're kind of like touching almost like a wet cloth that has some sort of tangibility to it, but there's like bone structure underneath. So you're holding onto a firm handshake.
Are you sure you're Shadow? Ven, is this a joke? Are you sure this is not just like really good makeup?
I swear to you that I am not an illusion. I am not a parlor trick. I am true and real, and I don't show myself to just anyone. Ven considers you a very special, dear friend, and that is why I'm here. Because we do not wish to keep any secrets now, do we?
Okay. This is still very strange.
I don't doubt it at all. Now...
Took me time to get used to it too, so...
Fennel. You watch as the body slightly grows bigger. Are you hiding anything? Any little secrets that you might have?
What, you want to hear my entire life story?
No, that would be very boring. Something...
Discord?
Skim through the details for us. Ven has just poured his little heart out. And yet, you watch and say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
Discord?
I feel bad. I'm looking out for you, Ven. Fennel needs to tell at least something about himself. Can't be selfish now.
And what makes you think I'm hiding anything?
Because the place where people hide things is the shadows. And I'm very close to those. I am not a shadow. I am something more. And if I'm honest, Fennel, I don't really know what I am. But all I can say is I'm very close to Ven. And anything happens to Ven, I will be there.
Well, I can assure you I haven't got any ill intentions.
Good. You see his form drops down to a regular size once again. Then there's no need for any complications. This introduction was very awkward, so I'm going to go. And you see he just kind of fades back into the shadows and disappears.
Ta-da!
So do you know
Please
what
don't
that
tell
is?
anyone. Please, 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 please.
Fine. I won't tell anyone. But what are they? Or no, is it a they? The voice changed. It was very feminine before, very masculine after. Is it one being that can change its voice? Is it different beings?
Well,
what
they
is
use
it?
2 names, but they're one, and I don't really know what they are. But they've been there for me ever since it happened, and they helped me stay safe as much as they could.
Well, fair enough. I mean, it definitely seemed protective of you, so that adds up. Very eerie.
Yeah, they can be a little out of touch of what's spooky and what's not.
Oh, I have a feeling it knows exactly it's spooky. I don't know that.
Yeah,
That
sometimes, but sometimes, once he tried to cheer me up with a puppetry of dead cockroaches, and I had to tell him it's kind of disturbing.
Nasty. Well, okay.
But they mean the best.
I'll take your word for it.
And they know things that can help us out.
It didn't seem to know what it is either.
Knew what Kelvin was, but they said they're not the same.
Okay.
If anything, it seemed like they kind of didn't like him at all. Which fair.
That really seems to like me either.
I think they're just not very keen on new people, but you can warm up to them, probably.
Oh, am I gonna start seeing them more now? I guess I am, if I've been introduced.
Yeah, they hang around a lot, sometimes.
Okay, sure, fine. Discord.
Does it look okay? Can I see if Fennel's gonna 404 on me soon?
They're pretty much almost there, about to blue screen.
I'm sorry if this was a lot.
Well, it's been a lot the last 2 days, so yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. I just need to tell somebody before he intervened.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. But everyone else finding out, if everyone finds out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I can repeat all that again. It's a lot.
Oh yeah, no, it's a interesting thing to get over. But it's if it's helping you, then good.
I don't know how I feel about, finally saying it after a year.
Max.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Can I do some kind of a check to see if I have heard or know anything similar to this from back in Israhi?
Sure, you can roll an Arcana check if you like.
Arcana. Just out of curiosity.
What should be in that 20?
4.
Oh, you jinxed it.
Oh well.
No idea. Just any sort of theories that come to mind.
Okay. Well, any other weird things to any other shadow abilities that you can do that I should know about?
Not really. Not that I know of yet. We'll see in the future.
Yet? Oh god. Okay. Interesting.
I didn't know I could do the giant hands thing, to be honest. I kind of winged that. I didn't even know it was gonna work.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Cool.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Stalking, moving, walking shadows who
Probably
can change their size and change their voice. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's pretty simple, really.
To be fair. Not far from what I can do, also.
What can you do?
You've seen me transform before and change my voice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. Yeah. But a bit different.
Yeah, a little. Huh. You're not mad, are you?
No, just a bit weird. A bit weirded out.
A little. It takes getting used to.
I'll be fine.
But thanks for not, like, freaking out.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. I might be a bit jumpy if they just appear randomly. But, yeah, no.
I did tell them to not do that.
Oh, good. Hopefully they carry on with not surprising me. That'd be good.
They've jump scared me a few times. But thank you again. Really, I mean it.
Yeah. Anytime.
I feel bad. Do you want me to get you food or something or anything?
I think a stiff drink.
I can bake you something.
I think a stiff. Oh, actually, your baking is very good, but I think a stiff drink is what I need right now.
I have some fruit beers from Thedane's dad.
Ooh. Okay. Let's crack open one of those.
I pulled them out of my bag.
Sure. You begin to drink some of the Neath family alcohol that was gifted to you. Take a few swigs. It's nice, fruity, has a bit of a punch to it, but it goes down smoothly. As the two of you still have that awkward moment, Thorn, as you're kind of having a moment of just rest after having kind of built up the energy to talk in front of a crowd and get your plan across, you can see that Caspian walks over to you. Are you all right to talk?
She looks so tired. Like, just body, emotional, she looks exhausted, but she looks up and she's like, sure, yeah. What do you want?
Well, seeing as you're already talking about Siren, I thought I'd rip the band-aid off and continue this discussion. It sounds like you've had quite the experience with him. A direct one. I just wanted to see if there was any information that could help us. Anything that you can remember. And I know it's hard going back. But just know that it would help getting rid of him. any names, any places, any faces. I am a sponge to absorb all of the information that you have, and I will use it to the best of my abilities.
She sits and thinks for a moment, racking her brain. And then she just looks up with tears in her eyes. She's like, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I thought he was a man. I thought he was just a man. But now he's not even that. I don't know. I don't.
It doesn't matter what he is. Everything can break. Everything and anything. He may be different, but he's close enough to where he can hurt. I've been in his experimental chambers. I've seen what he's done. And I've broken every toy that I could get my hand on. He's a child, playing with things that he shouldn't. Don't feel that he has a hold over you. You can't live your life like that. I let it sit with me for too long. But then I realized there were better things to remember, to dream, to live. You don't need to have him on your mind. Put the things that are important there instead.
No, you don't get it. He took everything from me. He has everything. Everything important to me, he has it close to his chest.
And you do not think that others have suffered the same fate as you? I have met thousands like you, Thorn.
You don't understand. You don't get it. I wasn't an experiment. I was a stress toy. A plaything. Not like the others. I was special. Leave me alone. Go away.
I'm not going to leave.
There's nothing I can tell you. There's no information I have.
Well, let me tell you something. You speak of being a stress toy. I suffered the same fate. I heard that there were people suffering, and I went out of my way to save them. I looked endlessly, and I found myself in the dynasty. And as I was walking around aimless to find people to help, I fell in the hands of a barren witch. She tricked me. She had an interest in me. Fascinated by what I could do. I was weak. I wasn't strong. and I was careless. She strapped me to one of those chairs, and for a year I sat in her domain. I never slept. I could barely eat. She did not give me water. I had nothing. I wasn't even in a physical state. My mind was taken somewhere where it was thousands and thousands of days had passed. Barren landscapes, towns, rich ecosystems, and every single one was a challenge that she threw my way. I am not even that old, but I've experienced hundreds of years. I know what it's like to be a plaything. It's not nice. But you overcome these things. You break them. And you find yourself on the other side. I had to live with my mistakes for hundreds of years. I watched myself tear myself apart over and over again. The dreams that I found myself in, the only escape was death. But even then, when I woke up, I was in the dream yet again, another reality. Forced to play. Forced to do whatever she wanted. I'm not sharing this to make you feel better. Just know that you're not alone. You aren't the only person who's gone through this. And the reason I came to you now was to see if I could help others who had suffered the same fate as us. But you'd rather sit here and cry. This is the real world. And I can discern real from fiction. We can't hide. We can't cry. We have to live. We have to find ways around the shit hand that we've been given. I thought it impossible to ever love, to ever live, to ever find purpose. But it's possible. So this is why I stand here next to you still, even though you try and push me away. Because I know people out there deserve more. So you tell me. And honestly, Thorn, as much as I care for the suffering that you went through, I will get this information one way or another. So I prefer you tell me.
I mean, what is there to say?
You escaped? Or did he let you go?
I escaped.
Where did you run to? Where did you run from?
I don't know.
Where did you end up?
I was in Ifsit with a drow woman, Lysintra.
Did you run through or past the mountains?
I don't know. I really don't.
Could you smell the sea breeze?
No.
Was the air warm or cold?
It was snowing.
Was there a forest?
Yes.
How long ago did you escape?
A year, I think. Around that time.
About 6 months ago, I'd found myself in the Ebrith Dynasty, south of Cald's area, a few days' trek from the place that you're referencing, Ifsit. I'd come across a place which was kept hidden, quiet. Town nearby, but had no idea of this place, this hovel. Suspecting that someone else was hiding there, I investigated. I went in, and I'd come across cells. Steel, hardened steel, floors polished, a clean, sterile area. But these cells, many were empty, except for a handful. I'd seen grotesque, despicable works made in each one of these, but there was no one to blame. I didn't know if it was the girl that I was looking for, or if some other trickster scientist had made this place. One by one, I'd seen these prisoners, and I'd unchained them, pulled them out. And then I found one particular area which was cordoned off, not connected to the rest. And there stood 3 cells. 2 were empty, but in the third, there was a man defeated, withered away in the corner, of celestial blood. I
You
helped.
saw Benji? Benjamin?
Yes. You know him?
He's my friend. Is he okay? Is he alive? Where is he?
Well, I don't know where he is now, but I got him into safe protection. That is what I do. I help people. And your friend Benjamin, although the state that he was in, he could barely walk, I personally carried him to the nearest village and got him the help he needed. Those prisoners, all found lives, are all living because I had found a person who had told me a rumor, a whisper. One person, that's all it took. I'm happy that your friend is alive.
I need to find him. You need to tell me where he is. I need to see him. And you said you were looking for a girl. What do you mean?
The one who put me in her prison for so many years. Someone who is no different to Siren. But I can find Benjamin for you. I put him in contact with the reserve. Any prisoner that I come across who is dealt a bad hand, they are more than helpful. Bring them in and help them.
Thorn, she's trying to say something, but she doesn't know what to say, and she's crying, trying to hold herself together. And she's gripping her arm so tight that her nails are dug into her skin. She's bleeding a bit, trying to ground herself. Thank you for saving him, for saving all of them.
I know that you've gone through a lot. And I know that bridges are burnt. But don't let that stop you from making new ones. I know it's hard to find people to trust and to tell your story. But once you find those people, tell them before it's too late for them to impact yours.
But what if my story hurts the people I'm trying to protect?
That I cannot tell you. If you think that they're strong enough, if you think they're trustworthy, as we just said, then I do not see there being an issue. Just rest. Know that if anything comes your way, you can stop it. But you need your head. Stay focused.
Oh. She, nods and almost digs a bit deeper into her arm. Okay. I'll try.
He stands up and he'll leave you to your thing. You all complete your short rest. You all kind of prepare a plan to move forward. As you're kind of going through the motions, you see Caspian look at the rest of you. Well, as I'd said before, I have some contacts. If you want me to, I can reach out to them. You might already know a few of them anyway.
Anyone in particular?
Well, the Reserve. I have strong contacts with. I don't like getting them too involved in dangerous acts. But Tessa is a strong woman.
I mean, we can ask for help without giving them details, right?
She can be very discreet, yes.
No, yeah, that sounds good to me. If we can find a financial trail, that's one way to find them. You can't block that entirely, no matter what you do.
Well, I can ask the Reserve to freeze all of their assets to Frederick Zardov and assure that he is being fed less resources.
If you do that, could you also ask her to keep an eye out for anyone else who then starts purchasing things to the same places those accounts were purchasing for? Because then we can maybe find either aliases or allies he's got.
Of course. If you're okay, I will then do that myself. And I'll leave you to the rest of your planning. I would not worry about this Frederick tracking you down. I've broken his spell now. You'll be too worried to try again. Because that means that you have found a powerful nexus for him.
Are you sure?
Yes. As you said, there's a few screws loose in his head. He'll be thinking that you have found yourself some strong allies. Which is true. Let him think that. Let his mind be his own enemy. I'll be back with further news on the Reserve, but know it to be good. And he'll
Thank
just leave you.
Well, any ideas today?
Sorry, Robbie, there's a lot of background noise.
I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, is the thing, because I'm seeing it. Is it my AC? I'm gonna turn it off and see if that's it. But it could be that someone who's been butting in here the entire time has pulled a cable. The entire time you were talking, I had to, keep her from going into frame. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh?
Yeah, it just comes in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the ambient noise of cat. It turns out. Just
yeah, totally.
They emit that at all times.
It was her purring, actually, just disrupting the electrical field around my PC.
Nice.
Yeah, checks out. But yeah, right. Yeah, so he's gonna get the financials. I'm gonna start working on a more in-depth profile based on what you've got. If you've got any more on this guy, that can help. I've got the basics, but the more information I can add, the more I can try and predict what he's gonna do, maybe get ahead of it, if only to make sure we don't come across him until we're
well, he's a professor. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah, okay. Professor.
And, I don't know if he had made this or if he had just got it from someone else, but he could be proficient in making cursed items.
Right. Oh, that's a... Sorry. For those watching, Max has just thrown the mother of all wrenches game of D&D, in that he's just offered the players... Would you like to continue without the Dungeon Master?
We can end for now, because we need I think it would be nice to have Leone for this conversation.
Will Jojo freeze frame it? If anyone could play roundabout instrument. Do it now.
Can't. We can't stop it. We can't stop.
All right. Since we are now in the planning stages of everything, and we don't have Leonie here, and I need to go, so we'll end the session there.
What, you got better plans than us? You think we're not important?
Yeah, well, I just need
betraying Frey like that.
It's fine. Yeah. Max is about to come to the UK. I'm going to see him in person.
Oh, that's true.
My heart.
Okay, use protection.
So, thank you very much for watching. It was a bit of a shorter session today and a bit more RP related, a bit more backstory, juicy backstory. But next time we'll hopefully have Leonie here. We'll have a full house. And we can get diving into this scheme and see how it goes with your planning. So, yeah.
I mean, juicy backstory, and Fodain had a cross on, I'm going to say. That's
that was detective mode.
You had a pastry. Today's been weird, guys. That's Fodain.
This is crazy. Day. Mondays, am I right?
Mondays, guys. Well, it's Sunday, and hopefully we'll see you next Sunday again for next session. So, see you then. Have a good day.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.